And now the Hat Shop Carmel and the Betty Crocker cereal tray present the Green Hornet. He hunts the biggest of all game, public enemies who try to destroy our America. With his faithful valet Cato, Britt Reed, daring young publisher, matches wits with the underworld, risking his life that criminals and racketeers within the law may feel its weight by the sting of the Green Hornet. Ride with Britt Reed in the thrilling adventure of Too Hot to Handle.
Extra, extra, breakfast extra. Betty Crocker cereal tray, make breakfast fun. Betty Crocker cereal tray, make breakfast fun.
Yes, sir, the Betty Crocker cereal tray is really a breakfast extra. All in one handy carton, it gives you all your top favorite cereals, Wheaties, Cheerios, and Kix. You can take your choice right at the table. You can have your own separate individual package, Wheaties one morning, Cheerios the next, and Kix the next. It's fun. And you'll always open a fresh package. Try it now.
Get your Betty Crocker cereal tray. Get your Betty Crocker cereal tray. Get your Betty Crocker cereal tray.
It was early evening when the train from the west brought Britt Reed's father to the city. As he came into the station, he paused and looked for Britt. He saw an attractive girl approach with a smile of welcome.
Mr. Reed, hello.
Miss Travis. Well, I'll be. I didn't expect to see you here.
You're looking splendid. How was the trip?
Tiresome. Where's my son? Is he here?
He's not going to like this. He's waiting for you at this apartment. He thought it would be better if I saw you alone before you talked to him.
Confound it. What's going on? Why did Britt send for me?
Please, Mr. Reed, wait until we're in the car.
Well, Miss Travis, let's have it. Why did Britt telephone and ask me to come here?
Mr. Reed, you wanted me to give you a report on your son's activities.
That's right.
Well, Mr. Reed, you have a wonderful son, more wonderful than you or anyone else realizes. At least that's the way I feel about him.
Well, this is a surprise.
Oh, he's been doing incredible things, but he's right. I know he's right, or I'm just crazy as he is.
Linda, what are you talking about?
We'll be at the apartment in a few minutes. Then you'll learn everything.
I want you to quit stalling, Britt. You've made all the proper inquiries about my health and my trip from the West. You've offered cigarettes and highballs, but confound it, there's just one thing I want.
Well, Dad,
Now you and Miss Travis have something to tell me. Now what is it?
Perhaps I'd better go.
Perhaps you better stay.
Yes, sir.
Dad, I just don't know where to begin. You've heard of the Green Hornet, haven't you?
Heard of him? I was the one that suggested that the Sentinel offer a reward for his capture. And I can't understand why you haven't been able to get him.
Well, you want to drink it straight, so here it is, Dad. I am the Green Hornet.
And you're proud of him, Linda?
Yes, I am.
Why?
Well, because of what he's done as the Green Hornet.
How did you know?
I found it out by accident.
So, you created the character of the Green Hornet. Why did you do it, son? Haven't you always had everything you wanted?
Well, I sure have, Dad. Things have been handed to me on a silver platter from the time I was a kid. When it was time for me to go to work, you gave me the Daily Sentinel and a competent staff to run it.
I'd hoped that the responsibility of managing a newspaper would be good for you.
Well, and I think it was. I learned a lot about things I never knew existed.
Huh?
I saw political grafters and confidence men bend the law nearly double without actually breaking it. I had inside information on political bribes. I knew of crooks in our government, and there wasn't a thing that could be done about them. We couldn't even publish their activities because the law couldn't get proof that would hold up in court. A lot of criminals went free because of tricky laws and red tape.
But the Green Hornet. Everyone thinks the Hornet is a criminal.
Dad, I could only see one way to get those rats. Someone had to meet them and play the game their way with no holds barred. Putting them in jail was the most important thing in the world to me. They came ahead of the newspaper, ahead of my reputation, and ahead of everything. If you look at the records, you'll see I was successful. Oh, maybe I was wrong.
No, you weren't wrong.
Who knows about this?
Well, Cato, Linda Travis, and now you.
And now that the secret is out, what are you going to do?
Well, the secret is not out unless you let it out. Cato has shared the secret with me, and Linda will share it. And it could be shared with you.
Mr. Reed, regardless of what the public thinks, there isn't a single charge against the Green Hornet. The police haven't a thing on him.
There were charges. The Sentinel has been offering a reward.
Yes, but the record is clean now. The last murder charge was wiped off the books a few days ago.
And Linda, you'd forego the reward to keep this secret?
Oh, I don't want that kind of money.
Well, you can't buy loyalty like that.
Oh, there's such a need for someone like the Green Hornet.
It's up to you, Dad. Are you with me?
Are you tired of going to get drinks in some place and you don't even know where it is? Are you tired of going somewhere and it's not the American Legion?
I know I am.
Well, there's a place that you can go. It's just like that. They've got drinks and they'll know where you're at.
Where is it at?
Well, it's called the American Legion.
Where can I find it?
You can find it on Dolores and 8th in Carmel by the Sea, California.
What do they have there?
Well, they got everything.
Like
Everything.
what? Like drinks?
Drinks and everything. And
They
people.
got girls?
Girls and smoking. You can do whatever you want there. Smoking's bad,
You
though.
can
Don't
smoke
do it.
cigarettes there?
American Legion since 1910.
Support the American Legion. After announcing his identity, Britt Reed hadn't taken his eyes off his father. He had seen various emotions: shock, disbelief, controlled anger in the strong, rugged face. This had given way to a hurt expression. But as he explained his position, Britt saw his father's chin come up. Then, during a momentary silence, the eyes of father and son met. Between the two, there flashed a spark of mutual understanding. A look of confidence came into Britt Reed's clean-cut features, and the older man looked proud. Then there was a faint grin that expanded to a chuckle.
Oh, Dad, you're not angry?
Angry? How? Why, how can I be angry with you? I know exactly how you feel, because I went through the same thing.
Well, you?
Look at that picture on the wall. The man on that horse is one of your ancestors. And those hills are in Texas. When I was a boy, I rode with that man. I saw him six-gun his way through red tape and ride roughshod over crooks who thought they were too smart for the law. He rode for justice. Britt, I gave you the Daily Sentinel because I knew you'd learn a lot about smart crooks that the law couldn't get. I'd hoped you'd do something about those crooks. Just as your pioneer ancestors did, I wanted to see you use the paper as a crusading weapon. I wanted to see sparks fly, but nothing came.
But Dad...
I was disappointed, son. I wondered what was the matter with you. Wondered why the American heritage didn't assert itself. That's why I sent Linda here. I sent her to find out what was wrong with you. And now I learn, boy, confound it, Britt, you're more like the man in that picture than I dreamed you could be. Well, this is the biggest thing that's ever happened to me. This is...
Well, Dad...
You and Linda will have to forgive an old man and his emotions.
Well, Dad, you're the tops.
Old man. What am I saying? I feel younger than I have for 20 years. And more than that, I'm with you, boy. I'm with you all the way. If I can help the Green Hornet stamp out crooks, it will be just like it was back in those Texas hills when I helped the man on that picture.
The next day found Britt Reed's father lunching at the Civic Club with one of his oldest friends, the commissioner of the police.
Now, confidentially, Higgins, I had a special reason for wanting to see you.
You
Today
have?
I learned the identity of the Green Hornet.
You have?
Yes. Now, I'm not going to tell you, not just yet, but I know who he is and where he can be reached. And I know something else. He's on your side of the law. And now, Jimmy, that I know where to reach him, he can be of even more help.
You'd better tell the new commissioner I'm resigning.
You're what?
Larry Larson has me over a barrel.
Larry Larson? Isn't that the name of the roadhouse operator who was picked up on narcotics charges?
That's the guy.
Larry Larson. Yeah. What's he got on you?
Photographs of my son.
Oh. How is the boy?
Fine. He's living in Grove City with his wife and daughter. He's a councilman, and there's talk of him for next mayor.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. Ronnie was here to visit about a year ago. Went to Larson's Roadhouse. Went alone, which was a mistake. Then when he came home that night, he told me how some knockout drops had been put in his highball. How he'd been robbed of his wallet. That's when I started going after Larson.
Tell me the rest.
I got plenty of evidence against Larson. The best of it I got personally. I'm the chief witness against him. I can put Larson and half a dozen of his pals behind bars on narcotics charges. But Dan, I don't dare do it.
That crook.
Ronnie wasn't drugged so he could be robbed. He was drugged so Larson could get photographs made. He showed them to me. Pictures of Ronnie looking stupefied and sitting at a table in a private room with Larson, Pokey Smart, and several other drug peddlers.
What's Larson's price?
He'll give me the pictures and negatives when I give him the evidence I've collected. I've got to do it, so I'm resigning as commissioner.
Uh-huh. Where does Larson keep those pictures?
Somewhere in his office at the Roadhouse. He's got a secret hiding place.
Jim, remember when we were younger, the days back in Texas? In those days, we would have found a way to deal with Larson.
I know what you're thinking about, Dan, but it's no use. Our stuff won't go with Larson.
Wait a minute, Jim. Wait a minute. Now, forget that resignation.
What the?
Now, you sit tight. I told you I knew the Green Hornet. Now, let me give him the facts and see what happens.
Yeah, there's nothing the Green Hornet can do. No one can get those photos of Ronnie unless Larson tells where they're hidden. And Larson won't tell. No one can make him tell.
Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that, Jim. I've got a lot of confidence in the Green Hornet.
We'll continue our story in just a moment. Boys and girls, we're going to town, but I mean fun town. Just listen to this. Each of the 10 separate boxes of Wheaties, Cheerios, and Kicks in the Betty Crocker cereal tray is designed like a toy house or store. When you get these boxes, all you have to do is cut along the dotted lines, then fold, and presto, you've got a model toy city, complete with a hat shop, drugstore, hardware store, and houses. Not only that, but you also get cutouts of autos, fences, garages, and a lot more things. Here in front of me is the hat shop Carmel. Next, Carmel Ace Hardware. Down the street, the Carmel Bakery. Next, it's the Carmel Drugstore. Everything's complete. Even storage sheds and backs of buildings and awnings in front. All true to life in every detail. Best of all, different toy houses and stores come on different Betty Crocker cereal trays. Just think of the fun you can have cutting out and setting up your own model city. Ask your grocer for the Betty Crocker cereal tray. That's the handy cereal package with all 3 of your breakfast favorites. Wheaties, Cheerios, and Kicks. Get yours now.
Now to continue our story, Britt Reed's father made a phone call from the Civic Club.
Brett, are you sure it's all right to talk over this phone? Well, I just finished lunch with the police commissioner, and here's what he's up against.
After talking to his father, Britt Reed left the Sentinel office and hurried to his apartment. The phone was ringing when he arrived.
Mr. Weed's apartment?
He heard Cato answering.
Is that for me, Cato? Yes, Mr. Britt. Miss Travis calls from office. I left word for her to call when she came in. Hello, Miss Travis. I'm going to be tied up at home for a couple of hours. When I get back to the office, I want to see everything that's available about Larry Larson and his gang. You'll find a lot of items in the morgue. Ask for her to help you dig it out. Now, Cato, I'll need your help in the laboratory. Yes, Mr. Britt. We're going to prepare some letters on special paper. For what, Mr. Britt? Tonight, the Green Hornet is going to visit Larry Larson's roadhouse.
Honey, have you noticed these skin spots?
What spots?
Well, the skin spots. I was doing my makeup and I looked in the mirror and I've got these spots. I just hope they're nothing bad. Well, I got to protect myself better.
How are you going to do that?
You know what? I just ran into this gentleman in the street. I was walking down the street minding my own business, and he just ran right up to me and handed me a card to the hat shop.
He sounds like a crazy man.
He was. He had a big beard and the most hair on his face, and he was very scary, but he did give me this 20% off coupon.
That happened in Carmel by the sea?
Right in Carmel by the Sea on Ocean Avenue. I couldn't believe it.
Wow.
Oh, my goodness, my voice. Oh, honey. I think I'm going to go to the hat shop.
You should.
I should. The hat shop Carmel.
Do they have lady hats there?
They have ladies and men's, and they have children's too.
Oh, really?
All right. The hat shop Carmel is San Carlos and 6th.
Golly, Casey, look at all that stuff me and Mrs. Travis got together about Larry Larson.
This office looks like a rummage sale.
Oh, I'll pick everything up and get it in order for Mr. Reed.
Larson is due to take a rap on a narcotics charge. He's hot news these days. Is Reed gonna have you do a special story about him and his gang?
Oh, I don't know what Mr. Reed's plans are.
Probably human interest.
You think so, Miss Casey?
Isn't that your specialty?
Well, I haven't especially yet.
You will.
Say, if you want the dope on Larson, you should go and visit his roadhouse.
Michael!
In spite of Larson being a crook, they got good food there, and music and dancing.
What a splendid idea, Mr. Axford.
Now, if you wanted to go, I could...
I'll speak to Mr. Reed when he comes in. Well, I'd better take these clippings into his office.
Oh, Axford, you dope!
Well, I was figuring to help the youngster out.
As if she needed help.
She can't go to Larson's place alone.
She won't. But you won't be the guy to take her.
No?
Oh, Michael, can't you see? She set her sail for Mr. Reed. Do you have to give her ideas, you Dan Cupid?
Well, I do want you to go to Larson's, Miss Travis. I'll call for you at 11.
So late, Mr. Reed.
Before I call for you, I'm going there with Cato as the Green Hornet.
Larry Larson had a private table in one rear corner of his roadhouse. He looked up as a bull-necked man with cauliflower ears approached.
What is it, Pokey?
Hey, boss, you better come out back. There's a guy says he's from the police.
Why can't they leave me alone till my trial?
I got an umbrella for you at the back door.
Come on, you stick close and keep your gun handy.
Outside the roadhouse, a steady downpour covered the Black Beauty as Britt Reed and Cato waited in the rain-drenched darkness. A study of the newspaper clippings, many of which described the Larson Roadhouse, had given Britt Reed a fairly complete knowledge of the layout. Both he and Cato wore masks as they waited in the Black Beauty near a small rear door. Presently, they saw two men advance through the rain.
The smaller one is Larson. Oh, I see.
Here he is, boss.
What do you want?
Kill that flashlight, Larson.
You're the Green Hornet.
Did you guess that, or did Chubby here tell you?
What do you want?
I brought a present for you.
Meaning what?
A couple of letters. Spill your flashlight on them and notice the name.
Watch him, Pokey.
Yeah, I got him.
Higgins. Police Commissioner Higgins.
I got them a little moist, but they'll dry out.
Where'd you get these?
Interesting reading, eh? The commissioner'd be in a spot if those were published.
Yeah, plenty. How'd you get them?
You know better than to ask me that, Lawson.
Is this straight?
Why don't you ask Higgins?
Did Higgins really accept bribes in the Turner affair? If the letters are on the level, they'll prove that Higgins is a crook. Why did you bring them to me?
Because you need them. You're going on trial in a week or so. Higgins is the main witness against you and your pals.
That he is, boss.
He might be interested in a deal with these letters in exchange for the evidence he has against you.
Where do you come in?
After you beat the rap, you can help me.
How?
You read the papers. You saw what the DA said about me.
Yeah, he's done a fast switch. He's for you?
I want Higgins to be the same way.
You mean?
You don't think the DA really liked me, or did you?
Oh, so you had some letters or something that mentioned the DA.
What do you think?
I get it.
Use those letters if you need to, and I'll see you after your trial.
Huh.
And be careful of them. They're dynamite. Don't put them where they can be found.
Don't worry.
I mean that. Higgins might send a prowler to crack your safe.
I got a good hiding place. How did they get so damp?
I was out in the rain. I'll see you, Larson.
You mean?
Gosh, boss, what do you make of that?
I don't know, Pokey.
You gonna use them letters?
With those photos I have of Ron Higgins, I won't need them. But I'll look them over. Here, put them in the hiding place. You know where. I'll go over them after we close up.
In accordance with his plan, Britt Reed left the Black Beauty in Cato. He secured a cab and called for Linda. The two returned to Larson's Roadhouse and ordered supper. Linda phoned the police, then returned to the table.
It's getting close to midnight.
Yes, the police should be here soon.
What did you tell them, Linda?
Well, I said exactly what you told me to. I said I had overheard a conversation. Someone said a load of white stuff would be delivered to Larson at midnight.
Yeah, and I hope Cato and I were accurate in fixing the time it would take for those letters to dry out.
What if your plan fails?
Well, I'll have to think of another plan. They've got a... Linda, watch Larson. That gorilla named Pokey just went to his table.
Maybe this is it.
Well, I think it is. Excuse me, Linda. I've got to see a couple of men about some smoke.
Where do you go for everything that you need? Everything you don't need, and everything you want, and everything you don't want. Well, there's only one place.
Let me guess.
Where?
Carmel's Hardware.
That is incorrect. But you could go there for everything else. And everything else that you couldn't find, you could probably find...
Carmel Drugstore?
That is correct. That's right. Carmel Drugstore since 1910. Carmel Drugstores has everything that you could imagine, everything you couldn't imagine. They've got, well, everything a drugstore would have. Pharmacy stuff, and they've got shaving cream, and they've got toothpaste, and they got...
Is that place with the fancy combs?
That's the place with the fancy combs. And they've got cups, too. And they don't have them with straws in them, but they got ice.
And you know what else they got?
What do they got?
Coke in a bottle. Glass
They do
bottle.
got Coke in the bottle. Go down to Carmel Drugstore on Ocean Avenue. Since 1910.
Britt Reed tried to appear casual as he left the dining room. Alone in a hall, he hurried to a corridor. As he headed toward the rear of the building, he drew a mask and gun from beneath his dinner jacket. Meanwhile, Larson and Pokey hurried to the office.
Is anyone in my office?
No, boss. I was in there alone, watching like usual, when I seen this smoke coming through the cracks in the wall.
Ah, fine thing.
Boss, now look at the smoke. It's thick.
Ah, confound it. Close that door. Grab that fire extinguisher.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, something's caught fire in the hiding place.
What could it be?
Ah, how do I know? Gotta get that panel open. Ah, it's too hot to touch.
Look at the smoke pour through the cracks.
Give me that fire extinguisher.
Yeah.
Yeah, smash the panel with your gun barrel.
Right.
Right. Now turn the extinguisher on it. Hit it again, hurry.
All right.
That does it.
Look at the
God,
flames.
you gotta save the photos. You gotta save them.
You're licking it.
Yeah, turn the stream to the left, then reach in and I'll pull everything out to the floor.
Okay, boss.
Hurry, I gotta find the photos.
Get these cans of white stuff.
I said the photos, never mind those cans. The envelope with those Higgins pictures.
Hey, what's this?
Oh, that's almost completely burned.
Hey, that looks like
No,
it.
look.
Them negatives burn like gunpowder.
Oh, the prints are useless.
I want some of that stuff.
Boss!
You! Where'd you come from?
You were too busy to hear the door open.
Listen, you!
I'll take those papers.
No, you don't!
Get back!
You want to shoot it out, eh?
Ah, you dirty!
And this is for you, Larson.
Ah, my arm! My arm is busted! Help me!
Britt Reed snatched the partially burned photos, then leaving Larson unconscious and Pokey shot, dashed through a rear door and across the open space behind the building.
There it goes. After him, he's headed for the street.
Where?
He heard a police whistle and the shouts of the police,
Go up over around the corner. He's over there in the corner.
who had been waiting, but he kept going toward an orchard. The car came out of the darkness to meet him.
Cato, here are the mask, the gun, and the documents from Larson's secret hiding place. What's left of them. Police come this way. They think I've escaped in the car. I'll hide among the trees until it's safe to go out in front and rejoin Linda. I'll meet you at the apartment. Now get going. Ah, I got away!
And that car was waiting for him.
Who was it?
Hey, he came from the rear door. Hey, boys,
Axford's at the door now.
come quick. See what I found in Larson's office?
Britt and Linda were part of the crowd that crushed curiously as police moved in the office. Half an hour later, the couple stood in front of the roadhouse, waiting for a cab.
Mr. Reed, just what made those letters you gave Larson burst into flames?
It was a chemical that Cato had prepared. He can explain it to you while I'm preparing a package to deliver to the police commissioner.
Oh, I wish I could see the commissioner's face when he realizes that Larson no longer has a hold on him.
I wish I could see Dad's face.
Is he at Mr. Higgins' home?
Yes, and those two old cronies haven't much longer to wait.
The evening had been long for Higgins and the father of Britt Reed. Both were dozing when the doorbell rang. Both were instantly wide awake and on their feet, hurrying to the door.
Maybe this is it, Jim.
Reed, if I could believe that. Hey, something dropped.
I'll get it. It was tucked beside the doorknob.
Car roaring away.
Mine was better.
Hey, there's a car at the curb. It roared away a few seconds ago.
Hey, man, that was a 64 Mustang.
Exactly. Did you get the
Hey, Reed, was that the Green Hornet?
Look, Jim, this package is for you. There's writing on it.
What's it say?
Here, Commissioner, is the complete file, or what's left of it, with my compliments, the Green Hornet. Ha ha! Well, it looks like you're in the clear, Jimmy.
I'd give a lot to meet that Green Hornet.
Wait a while, Higgins. Wait a while. Maybe you will meet the Green Hornet.
Extra, extra, special extra. Gangster Larson held on second charge. Surprise raid uncovers further drug activity. Read all about it. Police sport Green Hornet car leaving scene. Special extra, paper.
You've been listening to The Green Hornet, brought to you by the Hat Shop Carmel and Betty Crocker Cereal Tray, the cereal assortment of individual packages of Wheaties, Cheerios, and Kicks. Be with us again next week at this same time when General Mills and the Hat Shop Carmel will again present The Green Hornet. This copyrighted feature originates in Detroit, and all characters, places, and incidents used are fictitious. Producer Carl speaking. This is ABC, the American Broadcasting Company.